One of the certainties of life is that we will all experience loss and grief. When we lose something dear to us, we can be flooded with a number of emotions. Knowing what to do with these emotions can be difficult. Here I was on Friday, out in search of a release for the grief I had been feeling for over 30 hours. I didn't know if my loss was permanent or temporary, but what I did know was that the conflicting emotions within me were real, and I had to find a way to work through them and release them.
Well, the last few days have been a bit of an emotional roller coaster, to say the least. Our cat's gone missing. He got out of the house yesterday, which is not like him. He's never tried to get out of the house before. He's been a house cat since we got him. But yesterday he ran out of the house and he's disappeared. It's now, well, a day and a half since we last saw him. It's a weird feeling for those of you who have pets or have had pets in the past. You'll know that your pets are like your children. And when a pet goes missing or dies, it leaves a hole in your life. And this cat, he wasn't just our cat, he was my granny's cat who passed away last year. So he was like the last living bit of her left in our life. One thing I do know is that when things are a bit difficult, nature and creativity always makes me feel a little bit better. And I wanted to share this story with you all tonight because I hope that if you're grieving or if you go through grief soon, because it's something that we all experience as part of our human experience, that maybe watching this video will help you. Maybe it'll encourage you to get outdoors and just reconnect with nature and release your emotions through a creative means, which for me tonight is going to be photography. So here's hoping I can find something of interest to photograph so I can channel these emotions within me and maybe feel a little bit better as a result. So I'm in two minds about how to approach tonight's photography. As you can probably tell, it's a gorgeous night. It's so sunny, it's really warm, there's barely a breeze in the air. It's lovely and summery and uplifting, and it's making me feel better being out in this weather. It's lovely, it's giving me hope. Being out here tonight is giving me hope, which is a lovely feeling to have. But I'm kind of wondering, do I go along that hope route and photograph the nice sunny evening we've got here, get those nice idyllic shots, showcase how beautiful nature is? Or do I go a little bit deeper than that and I start channeling the emotions I've been feeling today? All the emotions that come up with grief, which for everyone is slightly different, but I guess for me today it's been a roller coaster of sadness 1 minute, fear the next, anger the next for allowing him to get out of the house. But then hope, because he obviously wanted to go out and he hopefully is having a great time. But then there's the worry of never seeing him again, that emptiness of him not being there. I kind of feel like it's probably better to go down the route of trying to channel that within my photographs. And you might be thinking, how can you portray those more deeper, darker emotions through your photography when it's such a gloriously beautiful evening? Like, the two just don't match up, they're very contrasted. But what I was thinking is, I don't speak a lot about editing my images because while I do edit my photographs, because I shoot in RAW, so I have to do some minimal editing to my images so that they're not flat. So I do edit my images, but I only take about 30 seconds to edit each photograph because I do very minimal editing to my images, just as much as I need to do to get the colours out a little bit and the contrast out a little bit and make it pop just that little bit more and make it look a little bit more like what I saw when I was out in nature. So that's kind of how I normally edit my images. But from time to time, and when I say from time to time, I mean about maybe 5% of the time, I do like to do a little bit more editing. And I'm thinking tonight about going down onto the beach, which is behind me here, and the tide is currently halfway out, and there's some lovely, what look like lovely shapes in the sand, and there's some water going through those shapes, and I'm thinking the colour blue it can portray calm and peace, but it can also portray sadness. The water, which again can be peace and tranquility, but can also sort of channel sadness and tears. Combining them together with maybe a shape that's a bit jagged to represent anger, or a shape that's a little bit like a tear to represent crying. If I can get an image of that and then go home and edit it and really push the blue colour, make it really sort of cold, then it'll hopefully make how I'm feeling or how I felt today come out in an image. So that's kind of how I'm feeling tonight. Being out here is very hopeful, happy and joyous, but inside it's a different sort of story. And it's that being able to channel those emotions through photography. It's the reason why I'm out tonight. So I'm going to try that idea and see if it works. And if not, we might go down the joyous, hopeful route. But the whole point of tonight and this video is about the idea of channeling your emotions, finding a release for them. And creativity is definitely a way to do that. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Well, this is the part that becomes quite hard because I don't want to stand on anything that could be a potential photo opportunity. In front of me here we've got a shell, which looks quite nice, and we've also got a feather. Now obviously feathers can resemble different things to different people, and given the situation I'm in right now, the feather might be a good option for a photograph. Because of where the sun is, we're getting really harsh shadows over this area, and they are intersecting the shell and the feather. So I'm not 100% sure if it's going to help with the imagery or if it's going to hinder it. But there's also, I've just been thinking, I wanted to go down the blue route because colour portrays, I think, a lot of emotion within it. I wanted to go down the blue route. But one thing I'm thinking is black and white might be another way to portray these emotions. Yeah, that black and white feeling, that contrast of happy, sad, grief, hope, but also the black and white with the no colour can be a good way, I think, to resemble grief as well. So I'm going to see how these go. I've only got one tripod with me tonight, so I can't film me setting up and doing this, but I will definitely speak you through what I'm doing and show you the photographs, of course. I've just been taking an image of this feather and the shell. The shell's not the most captivating shell in terms of texture and stuff. I don't think it's working very well in the photograph because it's not standing out as well as I thought it would. But this feather is beautiful because it's covered in this lovely mist of rain, or not rain droplets, because it's not been raining today, but this lovely mist of water droplets. It's just beautiful. And what I'm thinking is, as the sun is setting, the shadow is getting bigger. So when I first saw this, there was just a little bit of the bottom of it covered by the shadow. But as the sun's getting lower in the horizon, that shadow is very soon going to be halfway up the feather. And what I was thinking is that still plays in further with those happier emotions and those sort of deeper, sadder emotions, and kind of having that 50-50 split between dark and light. So I'm just going to sit here actually and just wait for the sun to set a little bit further and guard this this lovely little feather so that nobody comes along and walks through it. But also while I'm waiting, I've just had to phone the SSPCA because there's a gannet here unable to fly. If a gannet gets off a cliff onto a beach, it can't get up again, and it's getting pretty tired, and it's quite heartbreaking actually watching it trying to fly. So hopefully they'll arrive soon to help it out. So yeah, I just need to stay close to it. But it's weird. Every time I come to this beach on my own in the evening, I come across an injured bird that needs saved. And I might not be able to find my cat today, but hopefully this bird can be saved. working massively against the tide. As you can see, this massive swarm of water has just come in, and the feather's just there. This has literally just come in like literally a matter of seconds. And it is, yeah, I think this is going to be washed away any minute now. You can see it, look. Yeah. So I've just taken 1 or 2 last images, but getting that 50-50 split that I want is not going to happen. I actually can't believe how quickly this tide has come in. It is flooding in. This is mental. Just shows you though the beauty of outdoor photography. 1 minute an opportunity's there, the next minute it's gone. You've got to make the most of it while it's there. And yeah, it's quite scary though, to see the sheer force of nature surging in like this. But yeah, there's a lesson there somewhere. Get the image while you can, because it's there 1 minute and gone the next. Bye bye, feather. Aww. So close to getting that 50-50 split. Look at it. Au revoir. Well, tonight's turned out to be a little bit of a tough evening. Last summer when I was here, I watched 2 guillemots die in front of my eyes from malnutrition. They were both dying, and one of them died sort of naturally from malnutrition, and the other one was dying, and then a dog came along and mauled it and killed it. I just remember being absolutely heartbroken. I just couldn't stop crying. And tonight I've just watched a gannet die. It's probably died of bird flu, because a lot of gannets are dying right now from bird flu, but just seeing it struggling there trying to fly. They can't fly unless they're on cliffs, and because they've got bird flu, you're not meant to touch them at the moment. But even if I could touch them, there's no way I could throw it in the air and get it to fly. You've got to let the experts do that. So yeah, unfortunately it's just died. And me and a man have just been speaking about how sad it is. Nature is so cruel sometimes. I know it's not just a natural part of the cycle of life, but I think watching an animal die, or anything die, is quite a difficult thing, especially when it's struggling. And coming here tonight was meant to be a bit of a release, and it has been. I have to say, getting out into nature tonight has been brilliant. It's been beautiful, it's been lovely. It really, really has. It's also just been one of these days that's been a bit, I don't know, difficult, bittersweet. Yeah, sitting here right now with this gorgeous view around me, and then that just happening, and everything else that's happened today. Yeah. But anyway, I have no idea how I edited those images, but I'm imagining they would have been in black and white. I only took a few. But I think that feather was a good representation of my day. The dark and light, what feathers represent for some people, and just the beautiful droplets of water on it, and how that was contrasting nicely with the white of the feather, and then the shadow that was creeping over it as well, giving it more of that dark and light element. I think it was quite a creative image in the end, and a nice thing to capture before the sea came and yeah, washed it away. So that's that. Hopefully my cat will return to me in the next few days. Got to keep the hope up. But in the meantime, it's just nice to be out, enjoying nature and releasing those emotions through creativity. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time.
Well, I'm pleased to announce that since filming this video, our lovely boy returned home to us. What a relief! But I must say the emotions that accompanied him going missing were very real, and if you're currently experiencing similar emotions, Potentially getting out into nature and being creative may help you work through them. But of course, if you're feeling really low, please seek the help and guidance of others. We all experience grief differently and to varying degrees, and there are many incredible people out there that can help you. You don't need to suffer alone.